Hey guys, have you ever poured your heart into a friendship only to watch it crumble and leave you betrayed or let down or even a little lost? Maybe you thought somebody was going to be your friend forever, but then they showed you that they weren't quite who you thought. I've been there and I know that it hurts, but those moments, they're not just painful, they're also powerful wake-up calls that teach us how to see friendships for what they really are. In this video, we're diving deep into why the truth about your friends is always better than a comforting illusion, and how to heal from the emotional fallout, and a smarter way to think about friendships as you grow. This one's personal for me, so stick around. It might just change how you see your relationships. Let's go back to those moments when a friendship ends, and not like in a Hallmark movie kind of way, right? When I was younger, I had this tight group of friends, or that's what I thought, and we'd hang out, we'd laugh, we'd share stuff, the whole deal. But then cracks started to show. I remember one friend who seemed really close. I'm not totally sure what her perspective was on our friendship. I do know that at a certain point in time, invites slowed down, vibe changed, and I could feel her pulling away. Another friend started having success in a new career, and I don't even really know what happened. I could guess, but there's no point in that. I felt betrayed. I felt like they had been faking it the whole time. And it wasn't just about losing them. It was also sort of the shock of realizing that they didn't value me the way I valued them. I'd think, was this all in my head? Did I misread everything? If you've ever felt something like that, it feels sort of like having the rug pulled out from under you. But looking back, those endings weren't just losses. They were also big revelations for me. So here's the revelation. When those friendships fell apart, I got to see where I really stood with those people. And the truth was way better than an illusion. At first, I'm mad. I was mad. How could they let me down? But then I realized knowing the truth was a gift. It was like someone handed me a map of who actually cared about me. Would I have rather have kept pouring all this energy into something where the other person's only half in? No. The truth, even when it stings, is like ripping off a bandage. It hurts, but it heals fast. And those moments showed me who didn't belong in my life anymore, freeing me up to focus on people who I could have a real connection with. It's sort of like decluttering your closet, You let go of what doesn't fit to make room for what does. And there's real power in that clarity. Why does the truth hurt so much? It's not just about losing the friend or even the trust. It's about losing the illusion that the friendship gave you. I used to think the pain was all about, realizing someone didn't care about me as much as I thought. But now I see it's like way deeper than that. That illusion wasn't just about them. It's about how they made me feel about myself. When those friends acted like I was their buddy, it made me feel worthy, important, like I belonged. And I loved that version of me. So when the illusion shattered, when they pulled away because of whatever reason, it wasn't just the friendship that broke. It was that mirror that I had been looking into, the one that told me that I was enough. And suddenly I was questioning everything. Am I not good enough? Did I fool myself into thinking I'm matter as much as I think? And that's the real hard part. But the thing is that you don't have to stay stuck there. You can rebuild that sense of self, and it starts with facing the truth head on. So how do you pick up the pieces when a friendship's illusion breaks and takes your self-image with it? I've got 4 steps that helped me, and I think they can help you too. First, name the self-image that was lost. So what did that friendship make you believe about yourself? For me, it was feeling like I was enough just as I was. So write that down. It's sort of like shining a light on the wound. Second, challenge why you needed that friend to feel that way. Think about times you felt strong or worthy on your own. Maybe a moment where you nailed a goal or helped somebody who needed help. Journal those to remind yourself your worth isn't tied to anyone else. Third, reframe the truth as empowerment. Knowing someone's true colors means you can stop wasting energy on them and find people who vibe with you the way you are. It's like trading a shaky house for a solid one. Finally, seek out connections that reinforce your authentic self. Surround yourself with people who see you, flaws and all, and lift you up. These steps turned my pain into growth, and I think they can do the same for you. So as I worked through those friendships ending, I started to see friendships differently. When I was younger, I had this very black and white view of the friendships. You were either my friend or you weren't. There was no in between. That mindset set me up for a lot of disappointment because I was expecting everyone to be all in like a best friend. But as I got older, I realized that that's not how it works. Friendships aren't one size fits all. They're more like a spectrum. So now I think of them in tiers, like different levels of connection that serve different purposes. I've got my A friends, just a few people I trust with my, deepest fears and dreams. They're the ones I call on when life gets hard. Then there's B friends who I connect with over specific things like, my love for music or a shared sense of humor. We vibe hard on that one thing, but I don't expect them to be like there in tough times. And C friends, they're the fun, casual folks that I hit up for a good time, like grabbing, going out or catching a game. And this tiered perspective has been really big for me. It helps me appreciate every friend for what they bring without forcing them to be something that they're not. The tiered approach isn't something that I made up. Research actually backs this up. Studies like one from the University of California, Berkeley, show that we naturally have different types of friends. Close ones for emotional support, casual ones for shared activities, and acquaintances for social variety. Psychologists often describe this as a friendship pyramid, with levels like acquaintances, casual friends, close friends, and intimate friends. Here's what the science says. Your A friends, those close, intimate ones, take about 200 hours of quality time to build, and they're gold for your mental health, reducing stress, and even helping you live longer. Your B friends, the casual ones, are awesome for fun and shared interests, but they're not built for deep emotional support. C friends, or acquaintances, expand your network and keep loneliness at bay, even if they're low stakes. So, one study found that having a mix of all these tiers is actually key to living a balanced social life. But here's the thing. Expecting a C friend to act like an A friend is the fast track to disappointment. Research on friendship breakups shows mismatched expectations are a top reason that things fall apart. So, by sorting your friends into tiers, you're setting yourself up for a healthier, more honest relationship with each of your friends. Okay, how do you figure out where someone fits in your tiers? How do you see where you really stand with a person? Here are 5 ways to get to the truth. First, watch their actions, not just their words. Do they show up when they say they will? Are they there when you're struggling or only when it's fun? Actions are the loudest truth. Second, test reciprocity. Try pulling back a bit. Don't always be the first one to text. If they don't reach out, they might not be as invested. Third, have a real conversation. Ask something like, hey, what does our friendship mean to you? It feels a little awkward, but their answer or hesitation will tell you a lot. Fourth, set a small boundary, like saying no to a plan or asking for a favor. Do they respect it or do they push back? True friends honor your limits. Finally, trust your gut. If you feel uneasy or drained around them, that's your intuition saying something's off. These steps are rooted in being present and paying attention, and they'll help you cut through the illusion and see people clearly. So here's the bottom line. Seeing friendships for what they really are is about choosing truth over illusion, even when it's hard. Those friendships ending, they're painful, but they're also blessings that show you who's real and who's not in your life. Those shattered illusions, they're chances to rebuild a sense of self that's rooted in you, not someone else's approval. And that tiered perspective, it's a way to cherish every friendship for what it is, without the heartbreak of mismatched expectations. Take a second to reflect on this. Who's in your A tier? Are you expecting too much from a B or a C friend? Drop a comment below. I'd really love to hear about this. If this hit home, give it a thumbs up, subscribe, hit the bell so that you don't miss more videos like this one. Thanks for hanging out with me today, and I'll see you in the next one.